Anyway, so that's it, says Mion.
Oh, hi.
Are we on?
Well, we're on.
Oh my god, we're here. I'm in the middle of drinking my water like a good
Me
person.
too. We just recorded our last Death of the Reader episode for 2020. 100 murder case.
It's good stuff.
And
what a wild ride that's been.
What a dumpster fire of a book. It was so much fun, and then it wasn't.
The opening's great, okay, and then it just kind of loses speed. It's very hype though. If you want to like read a book to get you excited about murder mystery, read the 100 murder case, but only like the first 7 chapters.
Yep.
And then just stop.
It is a perfect example of why some mysteries are better left unsolved.
True. Leave it in the cat box.
The literal actual cat box.
That has so many meanings.
Oh, goodness.
I wanted to let you know before we start today, this is more for the audience's benefit. Felix already knows this. I tried a PB&J sandwich.
Oh.
Because look, this is important for me to say, because
fair enough.
I have been ridiculed on this show too many times for having a peanut butter and tomato sandwich. It was like, that's gross. It's the worst idea ever.
It's pretty good.
I agree. It's fantastic.
Surprised
it's one of my favorite
pleasant
sandwiches.
Pleasant surprise.
This is why you should listen to me. I know good food. I like
that. I
food.
don't agree with.
Shut your mouth. What are you talking about?
Listen, if we want to do Death of the Chef as our next show, and you have to try, solve foods.
Yeah, I'm in.
Then
I'm good at making foods. Get out of life. Point is, I tried a PB&J and it was shit. So all y'all who are like, go to PB&J, it was pretty good, and like, ew, PB&T. That'd be tomato, not, regular tea. That'd be weird. Get out of life. PB&T is strictly superior to PB&J, and I'd rather just have jam on toast and peanut butter with my regular sandwich.
I was saying this to you before when you told me, but I really think that the PB&J, I do enjoy it, but it doesn't blow my mind. But it is truly the American snack. It is just density and sweetness.
Yeah.
that is the entire food.
It doesn't fill me with confidence. Is that what it's like? Is eating a PB&J the equivalent of like having McDonald's in America? Is it like that? Is it like not that good tasting, but also really bad for you?
It reminds me more of In-N-Out, and I'm sorry to our California listeners, but In-N-Out was just dense and sweet. And I don't like fast food at the best of times, but for all of the hype that everyone I know in California has given In-N-Out,
In-N-Out is a big deal.
It was frighteningly disappointing.
I frequently have it advertised to me on podcasting shows.
That said, I
would
say that
money, they just mention it because they keep getting the damn thing.
Yeah. I would say that for every fast food I've had in America.
Okay, fair enough.
And honestly, here as well.
You don't like a big fan of that. You can enjoy that when we have it together sometimes. You get wraps. You don't enjoy that?
I mean, it's not good food. It's just food.
Wow. Wow. I don't know. I don't like a lot of fast foods though. Like when I order out, I usually go for like a sushi place, I guess, which is a little bit more cultured. I get the teriyaki chicken salad. It's great.
So proud of you.
Look, with mini rolls, okay. That's the best part. You like snack on the mini rolls and then you have like the full course like chicken salad. It's great. But no, I like as far as fast food goes. I don't really like any others. I'm gonna have to start
removing the name. We're not allowed to say positive things about brands on this show.
Why not?
What? Because they're not paying us money for it. But I refuse to give them free advertising. I will roast as many brands as I see fit, but we are not allowed to say anything nice about them.
Okay, I dislike McDonald's. I dislike KFC. I dislike Wendy's. I dislike Burger King and Hungry Jack's can suck a fat one.
Good, keep going.
I dislike. What else even is this? I don't like Subway a lot. I always regret getting it. It never tastes as good as I expect.
Keep going.
What else is there?
Keep going. Come on.
I don't know that many fast food places.
No, it doesn't even need to be fast food. Just roast brands.
I don't like. What are these?
Very good.
You can't say positive things about brands.
No, I can't. I'm gonna cut that. But you can't say mean things about them because they are very good and they're local.
They're local?
They had hot offices in Sydney. They make them here.
I didn't know that. I don't know shit about Mike's. It's like I'll have my cooking show where I make PB&T every day, and then I make like some mee goreng noodles, like some hot, spicy noodles, with some delicious flat eggs, sunny side up sort of deal. and you can have your dumb microphone show. You'll talk about mics or whatever mics you want. Cut that, and you'll have a great time.
I will have a great time.
You're doing a lot of editing. You just cut this whole conversation. But
I could.
Then I'd be sad.
That's fine. Listen, I mean, I have considered actually doing just some small videos about like my recommendations for audio gear.
Yeah.
But it's like, my recommendations are, don't buy the things people tell you to.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, on like Twitch, on Twitch, for example, on a streaming platform.
That's better.
On streaming platforms, you'll often see that the broadcasters on those streaming platforms they'll detail their specs, like their PC and like their recording setup and their chair. And sometimes that comes with branding deals, but usually it's just because people come in and they're like, "You're a gamer. What do you have as your computer? What is it?"
It's just gas, gear acquisition syndrome.
Yeah, pretty much. It's not good.
It's like, I mean, listen, I do like your microphone that you're using over there a lot, Ben.
I love it.
But my microphone cost, I think, a third or less than your microphone did for more or less the same feature set. And the only downside I see in this mic is that it doesn't reject background noise as much.
There you go.
But like, if you know that, you just use it appropriately, and that's fine.
You just keep your mic facing away from me as much as possible.
Exactly.
So that I don't feed into your mic like I do in every recording.
That's why we are sitting at 90 degrees around this table. True facts.
Most people would not do this, but it's a requirement because of how the mic and my voice set up. That's how it works. You get me on the show, you know how to use me. That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely.
So that's it.
That is it. Does anyone have any questions?
I have plenty of questions. This could easily be one of those well-planned pranks. What I heard is just that extraordinary.
This is, remember, because Renner and Keiichi went to her house.
I was shaking my head as to how long that tangent went for. I'm scared.
That wasn't that bad. That was only set like 7 or so minutes.
Oh, that's okay.
That's pretty good for us.
We should keep going, honestly. Just to hit our quota.
But right now, no, wait, wrong voice. Shit. Is that a point? Do we give away a point?
I don't think so. It's only if we mistake the lines.
Okay.
You clearly were just like
distracted.
Being an idiot.
Okay.
Yo, I was distracting you. If
Rika,
anything, you fucker. Why would you do this? Do you want him to win? Do you want him to succeed?
I want it to be as painfully close as possible so that when we get to the post-edit recap, we're actually like on the edge of our seat instead of just confidently victorious.
We'll have to know what's happening with the car. I still want that car.
The truck.
Sorry. It's a car.
Votes in the comments on previous episodes.
Votes in the comments.
But right now, it's a bad idea to ask questions just out of curiosity. That would be a waste of time. Leon has already explained everything about the events surrounding Rika-chan.
Well, I have a few things to ask myself as the successor to the head of the Sonozaki family, because all this has something to do with the series of mysterious deaths.
Uh-oh.
But I won't go into that for now.
Okay, good.
All in all, it was a good idea to come to my house. You can survive a nuclear war here in our basement. There's electricity and a telephone there too. Of course, we have plenty of food. If the mountain dogs are really that tough, then this house is the only place in the village that's safe from them.
Interesting. So just like occurred to me, like in no previous time loop have the Sonozakis like attempted to just barricade in their like underground basement. Like that's never happened before.
Why would they?
I don't know. Just to like keep Oreo in the house. I don't know. Like
what has happened in the previous arcs that would warrant them going into a bunker?
Who knows? I'm just saying there's apparently never been a time when that's happened. They've been like, all right.
It's entirely probable that in the previous arcs, Oreo actually was in the bunker when the gas attack happened.
That's what I'm saying.
And she survived,
People
but
survived.
because they have to keep it secret, they have to pretend like that's not where she was.
It's dumb. She was on the front lines, taking all the gas in, but not dying because she is immortal. That's what they said.
Well, let me just get into character. I gotta get away. I'm sorry to have involved all of you in this.
Rika-chan apologized from the bottom of her heart.
There it is.
Rika-chan has been dealing with this strange disease, the Hinamizawa syndrome, as well as all these suspicious Tokyo people, all by herself until today. She's been trying not to get us involved, and that's why she dealt with them all by herself. That's a bit of a tautology. We can all imagine what she must have been feeling, so none of us can even think to say. So none of us can even think of anything to say.
There you go.
The silence went on for a while, but then Hanyu clapped Rika-chan on the back.
Oh, Rika, you've been apologizing so much since yesterday. If you apologize one more time, I'm gonna smack you upside the head. You'll have to treat me with a cream puff every day. Besides, we all feel bad, don't we? Am I wrong, Keiichi?
And you suddenly addressed me. I could tell from her eyes that she was expecting something from me. Right, my role is to act as the flint for the other club
That's
members.
the one.
It's my job to burn strong and bright red to get everyone excited.
True.
What have I been doing, just sitting around? That's right, Rika-chan. We'd never even thought all of this could be true, so we were just shocked for the moment. But we're all thinking that things are getting interesting, right, guys? Sadako, this right here is the real deal. You've got some good traps lying in wait, don't you? I know you've been hiding amazing ones for special occasions like these. This is a perfect chance to try them out, don't you think? You should be grateful for my presents. I don't know who they are, but if it's all right to get serious, then I won't hesitate to launch the countless miraculous traps I refrain from using on our club members.
All right, let's get into the character. It's the move I've been waiting
What
for.
have you been doing all this time? You're just expecting Rena not to speak?
I mean, who knows what she's doing? Okay?
You should have been preparing
She's
for this
plotting to
moment.
murder people. She like, I take them home and then I murder them with my giant cleaver. It's my character. That's what I do. Far as everybody's concerned. That's what she does.
That's what she does.
That's what she does. That's right. Your traps come with me-chan's seal of approval. They can chase away even a real army.
Well, Sadako aside, you're pretty merciless yourself, Rena. You're usually so easygoing, but I know your true power.
True.
Yeah, when you get serious, you might be the most powerful of us all. You sure are something. I don't even think I can defeat you.
That's definitely true. Oh, stop. Your explosive impact is incredible too, Keiichi-kun. Your power can defeat a fate that I'd have no chance against.
I get it, cause explosives! Rikushi, have you heard of this subtlety thing?
No, I don't think he has. I think
he
that's
has.
a word outside of his grammar. Not to mention the fact that he's Japanese, but you get the point. Yeah.
It's a terrible joke.
That's good. That's where my brain is at right now.
Uh-huh.
Terrible jokes are my mainstay today. That's what I was talking about so much. Okay.
If Keiichi's a fierce red flame, then Rena-san is a quiet blue one.
Oh, I remember that. Also from Arc 6.
Hey, that's a good one. The Burning Red Ranger, Keiichi Maebara. The Burning Blue Ranger, Rena Ryugu.
Uh-huh.
This is our chance to show the world that we're gonna get sued by that company that adapts those shows to America. What's the name of that fucking company?
I don't know.
I don't remember their name.
Say something. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
This is our chance to show the world what we've got. We're a powerful team with a powerful leader. Right, Mion? We're already powerful individually. And when we get gather, we're invincible.
There we go.
That's our club, right, guys?
We get gatherers. We increase our resource pool.
Keiichi, I literally have no idea what that phrasing means, but I'll assume that you're just an idiot.
It's true.
You know, I kept quiet thinking it might be imprudent, but I've actually been thinking. This is getting super interesting. I appreciate this, Rika-chan.
Aw.
Thank you for giving us this opportunity. How dare they even think of stepping into Hinamizawa without saying hello to us? I'll make sure to teach them some manners.
It had only been 5 minutes since Rika-chan apologized to everyone and brought down the mood, yet our morale was already at its peak again. We're up against such an absurd conspiracy, but if we're together, I think we can defeat it. This is the best feeling ever. Hanyu is the one who's started all of this.
That's true.
She's quite the promising newcomer. She knew exactly whom amongst us to get motivated first. No, moreover, while even our senior members were hesitant about taking on such a huge opponent, somewhere in their hearts, she, alone, remained unflinching and raised our spirits. She's likely to grow even more formidable in the future.
She is the mascot character, after all.
I agree.
Thank you, everyone. Well, thank you for believing me. Of course we believe you. I told you that already. If we didn't, we wouldn't be your friends. Oh, there's no need to thank us, Rika.
Yeah, she's right. Listen to Hanyu, I'm on screen now.
Shush
You've got great
you.
spirit, I like you.
Don't spoil the magic.
Oh.
I rubbed Hanyu's head. She laughed as if I was tickling her.
So weird.
Okay then, let's huddle. We have to get things organized. First, Rika-chan and Sadako are supposed to be absent from school because they're sick, but in reality, they're hiding here. This is just a preventative measure. Nobody would even guess they were hiding here, thanks to a certain Akasaka.
How nice of him. He came because of the promise he made 5 years ago. It's kind of cool. A little romantic.
Oh,
I'm a little jealous.
He isn't my type, but I'm a little jealous too.
but Meep, it's not like that though.
He works for the public safety at the police headquarters in Tokyo, and he belongs to a secret unit, right? That sure sounds reliable. Being part of a secret unit makes it sound even better, too.
How cool.
Akasaka's very strong. He's definitely reliable.
But Akasaka's role is more of a protective one in case of emergency. Tomataki-san has the more important job of finding out things about our enemy. He's our true attacker. Plus, he's the only one who can call in the Bloodhounds to take out our enemies.
He's your knight.
In other words, Tomataki-san is our key to victory.
Tomataki's your knight.
It's a bit unsettling.
And hold on now,
What?
and Akasaka is your rook, waiting patiently. And Rika's the queen. Done. That's not
Well
true,
done.
Actually. Rika's the king. There is no queen. Who needs a queen?
It's a bit unsettling to think that so much is riding in the hands of some dumb cameraman.
Damn right.
Everyone teased her by saying they're going to tell Tomataki she called him that.
It's not that I don't expect him to succeed, but I think we should come up with another tactic just in case. But Hanyu, what else can we do other than count on Tomataki Flash?
No, Hanyu's right. Tomataki-san is a key factor from the enemy's point of view, too. If they find out he's investigating them, they might even have him killed. This is enemy territory for him, too, after all. I think we should come up with something else instead of just depending on Tomataki-san.
Flash.
Very true. It's hard to score with just one trap. I usually set many traps to deal with many different possibilities. That's a basic trap tactic, you know?
Basic trap tactics.
Mhm.
It's in the rule book. That's true. There's no need to limit ourselves to just one angle of attack. We should look into other methods beside what Tomataki Flash is doing.
Oh, but we don't know anything about Tokyo, do we?
Well, if one of Tomataki-san's
Flash.
important jobs is to summon the Bloodhounds, I'd like him to teach us how to call them. Then even if Tomataki-san is
Flash.
taken out by the enemy, we can still meet our victory conditions.
There you go.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Tomataki-san is really important.
Flash.
At the same time, he's our Achilles heel.
Flash. Wait. That's
Let's-
Achilles, not Tomataki. My
Let's
bad.
talk to him and make him tell us how to contact the Bloodhounds. Problem is, he's holed up somewhere in the city and there's no way for us to get a hold of him.
In his tent, you might say. You might say in his Achilles tent. Okay.
Well, I think that's a great idea, though. Well,
It's true. Takano did tie
Yes.
tie Tomataki to the back of a car and drag him around the village.
I don't know that that's what I'm referring to. But all right. Are you familiar with the trope Achilles in his tent? Familiar with that?
I am, yes.
Yeah. It's basically that, for those of you not in the know about TV tropes, they're great. Achilles in his tent basically refers to any character who, like, basically they should be acting, but they're like, just send somebody else. Like, the Battle of Troy's going on, but Achilles doesn't feel up to fighting today, so send all the other characters out to fight. And he just, like, won't answer the call to action despite being right where he needs to be.
Exactly.
And it's really irresponsible of him. It's usually a fuel for tragedy. Anyway,
Classic Achilles.
shout out to Achilles and his
I've-
cool heel.
I've forgotten so many of the other characters in the stories of
Agamemnon.
Troy.
Agamemnon, the general, Odysseus, the strategical planner boy. Arcantos. No, that's not a real figure.
Throwaway character, the Aeneas, who had an entire
Aeneas.
fan fiction written about him.
You're right. What a great guy. I do love the Aeneid. I had to translate a lot of that for my old Latin.
We
school.
both did.
Did you?
My
Oh,
copy
yeah,
is
we
still
both did.
left.
Oh yeah, there you go. I did the Aeneid and Ovid and a little bit of Horace, but we didn't get marked on that.
I believe that is the same because we did the same course.
Nice. It's good stuff.
That's getting cut.
Yeah, please do. Thank you. I regret saying it already.
all right. Well, I think that's a great idea, though. The next time we get a chance to talk to Tomataki Flash, let's ask him about his heel. So that's the first plan. Is there anything else?
Before we knew it, Hanyu was making sure we moved along with our proceedings. Rena noticed that too, giving a pleasant smile to the girl trying to be part of our group.
Oh, Rena.
This is just one insurance in case something happens to Tomataki-san. Let's think of a different angle of attack. What about something that would help his investigation? Oh, how intriguing! We'll launch some kind of trap, grab them by the tail, and thrust proof they can't talk their way out of in their faces. My, what a perfect trap situation!
The perfect trap situation.
If I'm the one they want, why don't you use me as a decoy? It's dangerous, but Takano and the others need me, so they'll definitely fall for it.
That really is dangerous, but that would prove Takano-san is after Rika-chan.
Have them see her and make them chase her? That could lead to something interesting. That's where Sadako's hills come in.
Oh, once they go up there, they'll be in big trouble.
We're gonna commit so many war crimes.
All the murder.
Boy, that will be a sight to see. This is gonna be great.
Only murderous traps, Sadako. There should be the final method we use, though. Once we barricade in the hills up there, over yonder, their situation will change quite a bit. It should be our last resort.
She's right. The traps in the hills are great as a defense measure, but that's all they can do. They can't attack the enemy for us.
There you go.
The barricade on the hill is our last resort. I've never heard it was the final resort.
Final resort.
When the enemy attacks this location, and we have no other choice but to leave.
Damn.
By the way, we have an underground tunnel leading out that's connected to a well in the back.
Uh-huh.
Wow, your house is amazing, Leon. Oh shit, this is really getting crazy. The enemy's a mystery organization. We have a secret operation, a secret base, and now a secret underground tunnel. Wow, we're breaking all of Nox's rules.
Yeah!
This is just the sort of thing that gets a guy excited.
That's what gets me excited. Oh, well, I'm not a guy, but I'm excited. Okay, now we have 2 ideas. That's great. We'll come up with more. Oh, can anybody think of something else? Oh, whoa.
Well, let's see, we want at least one more. That last one is a rather defensive tactic too, isn't that? Isn't there something more aggressive that's perfect for our club? You know, somebody to hit them real good, an awesome blow that'll set back their conspiracy. Why don't we play baseball against them?
That would work. Casey would make that work. You know that, right? They'd be like, all right, get the Mound Dogs out on the bases. And then he just bop them with the baseball. He'd like donk right into their heads.
No, they just have an actual game of baseball, but he'd just hit every single pitch out to the head, the cranium, the skull of the Mountain Dogs.
Yeah, that's exactly it. He donks it into their skulls and then like bounces from one to the next and they all just go down.
I thought you were saying that he physically hits each one of them with the bat.
No, that's
that makes much more sense.
I was saying he was going to donk them with the baseball. You're thinking of bonking with the bat.
Right.
Big difference.
Big difference.
Donk versus bonk. But the bonka-donk, that's a whole other thing. Yeah. Okay.
Can we pull off something like that?
Yeah, I'm sure we can. We're not as powerless as you think, Rika-chan.
And Keiichi's batting average is so much higher than we thought.
It's not like we don't have cards to play. You're their ultimate objective, and you're with us. It's one crucial card on our side. You might even say our trump card. You might say that.
Would you?
I would. And not just in the sense of using you as bait. If they don't use the term trump card anywhere in here, I'll be disappointed. Because, because they play games all the time. It'd be weird if they didn't mention a trump card.
No, they're just going to say the extra special card up my sleeve in full every time instead.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
That's true. It's a huge disadvantage for them that we have the Queen Carrier.
Or that.
I mean, what's their goal? Kill Rika-chan, trigger this emergency manual to eliminate the whole village, and use that chaos in their internal faction wars, right?
That seems complicated, but they just have to shoot her.
Yeah, to them, Rika is like the fuse on a stick of dynamite. They want to set that dynamite off, cause chaos, and use that to gain something for themselves.
Well, I mean, listen, if you light the fuse and then just trim the fuse before it lights the rest of it, then it's fine. So all we need to do is cut off Rika's legs, and the problem's solved.
Yeah, if they shoot her in the legs, we cut the legs off, that's fine. The metaphor begins to break down. Just like her legs!
I get it.
So if we keep it from exploding, we win. That's gonna be pretty tough.
And boom goes the dynamite.
Weren't you listening, Sadako? We just told you what to do.
Sure. Cut off her legs. Feed them to the dogs. That makes sense. That's gross. Epica, I'm sorry. You're right. We have to continue to defend her, but all they have to do is kill Rika-chan in any way. Like a soccer game with a goal on only one side. Then what's our goal then?
To denounce this unfair game for what it is and call in the Bloodhounds is the point of the Tomataki operation, right? Isn't there a goal for us, though? Where we defeat their conspiracy.
Yeah,
there must be something. Sometimes it works to think from the opposite point of view.
Mion gets it.
There is one. Mion started to spin the chessboard in a weird way.
Here she goes. The winds are blowing stronger on her side, and she's getting into better than top form.
She's calling the winds to blow the chessboard over.
Mion is pretty smart.
She's all right.
She is great at analyzing situations. That's why when Rika-chan first told her everything, she immediately decided that there was no way for us to win and became depressed. However, While Mion's easily crushed, she's also able to exhibit incredible power when the wind's on her side.
He's very weak unless she's already winning, is what we're hearing.
Yes. We created that tailwind, and now her sail is receiving the push it needed.
Or Mion.
Let me confirm this one more time, Rika-chan. That emergency manual was designed to prevent all the villagers from going insane within 48 hours of your death, right? So all we need to do is kill you and wait 36 hours.
That's true. That's true.
Yes, that's its purpose. Oh, Rika's never died. Whoa. Rika's never died before, so how do they know something like that will happen within 48 hours? She's right. Yeah, that is really strange. How can they say for sure? It's almost like it's founded on not solid evidence, and it's totally bonkers.
That's crazy talk,
It's crazy. I wouldn't confirm or deny such a thing. I'm but such a humble valley girl. How can they say all the villagers go crazy within 48 damn hours? That ain't gonna happen.
I wouldn't describe that as a Valley Girl accent, but I appreciate you doing so.
It's, look.
No, just no, move on, just move on.
Call it what it is. Call it what it is. Valley Girl.
Bad?
Yeah, bad Valley Girl. That's the voice. It's Rena's voice. Okay, it's perfect. I don't know what you're talking about.
Nothing. I'm not talking about anything in particular.
Are you? Are you talking about something in particular?
I don't know.
I don't know either, but the way you're saying these words makes it sound like you're talking about something in particular, and that's worrying me.
The people who know will know.
Oh, I'm scared. I'm scared.
This is Rika's line, by the way, in case you'd lost track.
Oh, is it? I was trying to figure out what the hell you were doing.
Well, according to Takano, something similar apparently happened in another country, and that's where they get the 48 hours from. I have no idea, though. Actually, Iris said he doesn't really understand either. It's really dumb.
Yeah, I was over at a friend's house, which is why I couldn't come to your party. It happened, it was in another country. That's where we got the 48 hours from. I'm sorry, the eyebrow work I'm doing over here really isn't coming across the microphone, is it?
I'm just watching you with great interest. I don't know what you're doing over there, but I'm in.
Ah, could it be? I see.
Oh, it's Sadako.
Points, we have points for that.
Just one.
It's
just
1 point. One singular.
I could it be? I see. I know their weak point.
Yeah, that's right. This is their blind spot.
Yep.
What are you two talking about? I don't even get it. I don't know. I don't get it either. Leon gets it.
Hey, Rena and Rika-chan, don't you understand? Why don't we put the last person to figure it out through a punishment, huh? How about you, Hanyu? Haven't you figured it out yet?
Yes, I have. That's why Rika's important to Takano. Oh, well, that's a hint for you, too.
All we need to do is kill Rika.
That's it. Done.
Here's a hint from me as well. The enemy's intention is to cause a disaster in Hinamizawa. They intend to do so by using this emergency manual. In other words, this manual is in fact the enemy's Achilles heel.
So obviously I understand what's going on here.
All we need to do is
What's
gas
happening?
the villagers.
Oh, I don't remember actually what the conclusion here is. Is it they're going to try and steal the manual? Is that like the game here?
No, that would be
that
would be stupid and awful.
Wouldn't that be great if they're like, we must destroy the manual?
No, all they need to do is make sure that Rika isn't found, and thus they can't prove that she's died.
It's true. It's true.
Meep. No, I don't get it. No. Oh, wow, Star. Rika, if you apologize for everything you've ever done to me ever, I'll tell you. No way, stop that ow-owing thing. Oh, I want to concentrate. Ugh.
What? Haven't you figured it out yet, Rena? Listen, our attack depends on Tamataki-san, and that's our Achilles heel. On the other hand, the enemy's attack depends on the emergency manual. So if we destroy the foundation of the emergency manual, do you see? We just have to make the emergency manual lose its function.
Here we go.
Oh, what is the meaning of the emergency manual? It's supposed to hide the existence of the syndrome by making it look like a disaster. So that's why I have to wipe out the entire village within 48 hours. That's what the enemy intends to do at least. So you're saying we just have to stop them from executing the manual within 48 hours? But those 48 hours don't start until I'm killed, sir. So I need to outrun them for those 48 hours. Meep, meep.
Hey, you two are already saying the same answer. You good? Let's say the answer out loud. Everyone ready? Here we go. Kill Rika, kill Rika,
Burn
kill Rika.
down the village.
Yes.
Oh, Rika-chan has to die 48 hours prior.
So easy.
There you go.
They need to murder her.
It's true. We have to have murdered her 48 hours ago, is the trick.
We all said
Which
it
is
in
why
unison.
we
Boy,
have
we're so good at
the
this.
burned corpse of Takano's. It's the foreshadow. They're burning of Rika's corpse 48 hours ago.
We never mess it up.
He just pulls off her hair like, I was not Rika at all. I know, I got it. I got it too.
Ren and Rika-chan clapped their hands together. They finally figured it out. Why did it take so long for us to come up with this?
Oh, wow. We finally got it. We should have come up with this on the first try. We've been speaking only in defensive terms, so I thought you might never think of this idea. Oh, wow, wow.
Listen to you. I love you even more, Hanyu. In recognition of your achievements, I'll award you our club's Special Order Cross Medal later. Anyway, let's talk about the operation. Their goal is to execute the emergency manual. Hidden in that goal is actually a huge weak point. The foundation of this manual is the notion that the villagers will go crazy within 48 hours of the Queen Carrier's death. In other words, if nothing happens in the 48 hours after Rika-chan's death, then the foundation of this emergency manual collapses.
That's it, to say the least. Nobody really wants to do such a terrifying thing, but if they don't execute the manual, the villagers might go mad and spread to the surrounding communities. They're hesitant to execute it, but they want to keep the damage to a minimum. But what if they find Rika-chan's body 48 hours after her death? The major premise that the villagers will lose their minds within 48 hours of the Queen Carrier's death will collapse.
Oh, fortunately, Rika is hiding here, so it's possible for us to lie about her death.
The last time Rika-chan was seen was yesterday at school. It'll be 48 hours after that in the early morning of the day after tomorrow. It'll be perfect if her body's found around that time.
There you go.
All we need to do is murder a small child, dress it up like Rika,
It's true.
and
So
hide
it's
it in
true.
somewhere they'll find it.
Well, this is the thing. This plan, I don't know how well this would work, but look, it's going to work in the logic of the story.
It's gonna be fine.
I know it's going to be fine, but like,
Listen, Ben, I know you're very concerned. I know you don't know how they're gonna get away with this,
I don't even remember
this
story.
possible mess.
I don't even know what's going to happen. So dumb. All right.
I see. It's possible to fake Rika-chan's death with the help of that Oishi-san.
As opposed to that other Oishi-san.
Yes. Well, we know there's many.
Many.
After all, so you have to pick the right
Indeed. We'll ask Oishi-san to send out an announcement that Rika's body has been found and that it's been at least 48 hours since her death.
I think, honestly, if we hadn't recently done a murder mystery that was all about, like, corpses and times of death, I would be, like, not even considering any of this, but it's just so funny. Like, because, like, I mean, I've obviously seen this story before, and
Yeah.
I know how this is going to shake out, but just, like, thinking in my head, like, well, logically, like, even if you did, like, disprove the manual, like, then Rika would have to, like, stay in hiding for the rest of her life to not disprove the conclusion that has been founded upon, like, da-da-da-da-da. And then you made the argument, like, but then the wheels of the Tokyo organization have already turned, and so by the time Rika shows up, it's too late, man. But,
Yeah.
like, anyway, it's fine. Like, I don't care that much. I just find it kind of funny to think about.
I'm glad that you finally caught onto the pain train that I've been on for like the last year and a half.
Nah.
It's like
I'm okay with hand-waving most of the inconsistencies. I don't really care. But this specific plot point, I'm like, I don't know that that actually works.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the fun things with the way Ryukishi does his mystery.
Yeah.
In that, like, you can kind of almost pick Ryukishi's mystery game by just how clever he's trying to be.
Yes.
And right now, he's not trying to be clever. He's just trying to show
He's
off.
hype.
So it's extremely obvious, but doesn't make much sense.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of the scale that Ryukishi works on, is that, the more clever he's trying to be, the more things make sense, but the longer it takes to unpack them.
Yes. Well, the longer he takes to unpack his own shit. But yes. That's half the fun. I feel like you can unpack, 8 novels in, like, I don't know, 40 minutes? Is that how long that video, one video is? How long was that video?
38 minutes.
38 minutes! I was very close! Whose line is this?
I don't know.
Whose line is it anyway?
Just give it to Uishi.
Okay. Well, it might create... He just, like, congeals through the wall. Well, it might create some issues if I announce it publicly, so we can just let the area institute know. Coach is on your side, so it should be possible to deceive them, yes.
That is.
What an idea. What a crazy idea this is.
Once the emergency manual loses its credibility, such a horrible operation will never be approved. In other words, their weak points are the emergency manual and Rika-chan.
Makes sense to me.
Oishi hasn't agreed to help us yet, but I know he will. Oh.
This will be such an amusing trap. I can just picture Takano-san running around in a panic.
That's definitely gonna happen.
Takano believes Sadako and I are sick in bed with a cold, but she hasn't actually seen us. She's just assuming it's true. But as it turns out, we were somewhere else, and suddenly my body shows up, and we've been dead for over 48 hours.
This is going to be super thrilling.
And also just incredibly obvious. Like,
yes. Well, this is the thing.
Her body went from her house to suddenly somewhere else and dead.
Well, this is the thing. Like, they've been pretending that somebody's been in the house for this long, and Akasaka's going to have to leave at some point, and they're monitoring it all hours of the day.
No, he's just in there with a shovel digging a tunnel out for himself this entire time.
Logically, what happens is that Rika's body shows up, and then they're like, what was in the house? And so they go in the house, and they either find Akasaka there, or he constructs a vanishing act. It's an inverse locked room mystery. Inverse locked room mystery, where Akasaka disappears from the room like a fucking magician.
No, he's gonna come out. He's gonna come out. Someone's gonna be at the fucking door. Yep. He's just gonna punch him so hard they fucking forgot they saw him.
Yes! That's how the best magicians get their work done. They just knock out their target and say, I see your money's disappeared. Whoa!
See, that's why Takano is such a great magician. She's learned to just gas the audience so they forget the trick.
Yeah. We can't prove her wrong. It's impossible.
The masterminds will have to accept the failure of the emergency manual and withdraw. That's when the hunters become the hunted.
That's true.
By that time, Tomotaki-san will have found out something about the enemy.
Flash.
Oh, and he'll go in the bloodhouse to defeat them. Oh, that's our goal.
All right, I can smell our victory from here. Man, how perfect is this? This is all gonna work out, I'm sure of it.
Don't say that.
Wasn't there a clause in Emergency Manual 34 that said the Institute Director could override authority if it was an emergency anyway?
Maybe.
I'm sure that won't backfire.
Sure, we're fine.
We all encouraged each other with a hip hip hooray.
Yeah!
This is definitely getting really, really interesting. Still, what's key is that the claim of Rika-chan being dead for 48 hours is believable. It's not. For that, we'll need Uishi-san's help.
Like, what killed her? What is your, plan here? That she died of a cold? That she, tripped and fell? What's happening here? What's happening?
And right as we thought about asking him, he arrived at the Sanizaki residence.
I teleported from within wall out to outside. I have not been listening.
Uishi-san knows that Rika-chan is hiding here. He also knows that some members of the Mountain Dogs have infiltrated the police station. They've even wiretapped Rika-chan's home phone. So the safest way to contact her, he figured, is in person.
Oh, yeah. I saw Dr. Area earlier. He told me to tell you that Akasaka-san is doing just fine. He has grown a lot in the past 5 years. He'll hold down that fort.
He's like 20 feet tall.
He's way too tall.
Stomp a mountain dog with a single step.
He definitely could. Oh, he could punch a man in half. Okay.
Uishi-san loosened his tie while drinking his barley tea. I bet he never thought he'd end up drinking a glass of barley tea at the home of his old enemy, the Sanizaki family.
I forgot. It's just him and the kids. This is insane.
Uishi, what do you think about 48-hour operation? That's what we're calling it. It's a great name.
I think it's a pretty good idea. It'll shake them up quite a bit. In their panic, they'll make mistakes for sure, and that'll give Tomotaki Flesh and the chance to get a drop on them. No, it is really a great strategy with no problems. They say 2 heads are better than 1, but with all your young minds together, you've come up with a fantastic idea. Aha!
Uishi-san laughed in admiration and assured us that the operation would definitely make an impact.
Explosive impact.
Just impact.
However, he hesitated a little too.
Explosive. Is this pretty sink or swim, you know? It's like Cold Russian Lake, where you have been shot 5 times and also poisoned and also fall into a lake, and you must swim. Pierced through ice like shark. Whether we win or lose, I'll have to take responsibility. I'll do my best to pull out these splinters, but if I don't do a good job of it, it'll end up in pretty deep. I have to resign myself to that, you see, it's pun, because I will be resigning my life.
In a 48-hour operation, Uishi-san ends up bearing the most responsibility. And the police are a strict organization. There's no guarantee they won't investigate. Uishi-san is planning to retire this year. He needs his pension in order to pay off his mortgage. He's at a very delicate point in his life. While this is a big deal for Rika-chan, it's a lot to ask of Uishi, too. He has to risk throwing away everything for our sakes.
Oh, no. Shit. This operation is a great idea, believe me, but I just can't.
It's got to be Rika because she's no
so?
honorific.
Yeah, it's, I'll bite that. I'll bite that bit.
Oishi, if it's too much, you don't have to accept the part. We don't want to win by using you as a sacrifice.
Hanyu broke the silence. The only other character who wouldn't use...
Same character.
I mean, they are. Let's
Same
be
character.
real.
Nobody knew what to say to him, but Hanya broke the silence. She's full of energy, ow-owing during our club, but at times like this, she also has the power to heal the hearts of those who are hesitating and growing weak.
Nice.
It's like being enveloped in a mysterious embrace, like a locked room. If her appearance matched her level of maturity, Hanya would probably look like a mother.
Besides, we're members of the most powerful club in the world. Even if the 48-hour operation...
That's what we go. That's the title we're going with.
That's
the
right.
48 doesn't roll. Call it like Operation Black Sting, or Black Hawk, or Black
Operation Rika Murder Death.
That's a better name than 48-hour operation. Operation Congo. Done.
We're sure to come with another idea if it doesn't work straight away, right, Mion?
Right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Uishi,
totally.
you can say no, okay? We shouldn't have gotten all excited over this without even considering your situation.
I definitely should have.
Yeah, that's true. I'm sorry, Uishi-san. Rana whispered to me while watching them talk.
Hanyu-chan is good at this. Who can say no when a cute little girl says stuff like that to them?
What? You mean, is that what Hanya is trying to do?
She's a world-class spy.
Meep. She's even more sly than I am.
As Uishi-san moaned and groaned, Hanya looked over and grinned wickedly at us. I take it back. This girl, she really is sly. What do you mean?
Operation! Hold on! Operation Trojan Rika. Done.
Terrible.
That's the name. No, that's the operation name. Trojan Rika.
They're sending in Rika inflated so she can fit the entire club inside of her, and then they bust out.
You send in a corpse so the bloodhounds can bust through when they think that she's been dead for 48 hours.
What is Keiichi taking back in this moment? Has he ever downplayed how sly?
I don't know. Maybe he thought she was like simple before. I don't remember.
Hanya is more dangerous than I thought. Next time we do a club activity, I'll really have to watch out.
What are you taking back? Because he was like, she's like a mother, but now he's like, she's more like an aunt. You know, like a scheming, bitchy aunt with a fan. You know, that's the worst.
Okay.
Can't cut that. It's too late.
It's fine.
I know it's fine. That's what I'm saying. I know you can cut that.
It's fine.
I'm just saying she's kind of like an older woman.
No, it's look, just relax.
She's a member of a rich family.
Just relax.
She has this cool fan. She likes to throw daggers at poor people. Please let me sleep on it. There's someone at the station that I really trust, so I think I will discuss it with him.
Oh, please. I want Kuma-chan to be the inside man.
It obviously is. Kuma-chan, what a good boy. Don't worry, he wouldn't let me out. He's a cool guy. If I agree to do this, I can't make any mistakes. So before I do, please let me think it over and the chance of success.
You know, actually, in Arc 7, when Kuma was shot by the sniper, did Uishi ever see his corpse?
I don't know. I don't remember. I
don't think he did.
Didn't Uishi get shot first? Or am I... It's been a while. I don't know, dude. I'll be real honest with you.
Yeah.
I thought that Uishi got shot first, but it's been a hot minute.
No, because it was that Kuma went back to the car and they shot him then.
Oh, yeah.
And then Uishi was still back over talking with the...
Right, well, there you go.
So
maybe he did see the corpse. Who knows? Who knows? We'll never know.
Uishi-san never makes promises unless he's sure he can keep them. That's why he speaks cautiously, but considering his position, it was a certainly decision that required courage.
It's true.
Don't worry, Oishi. Even if you lose your pension,
Mion will take care of it. You can't just put up your friend's fucking... What is this, son?
Why the fuck not? They're a criminal organization. They deserve to be held to account.
No, they're not a criminal organization, okay? They're just implied to be criminal.
They're just a family who married into a crime organization. I'm
family.
sorry, listen, we shouldn't be having a dig. I was genuinely wrong about that.
Oh my god. We're gonna get screwed in the comments. Go shout at Felix for once. Look, you've already looked into me enough over the past arc. Fucking whatever, dudes. Anyway.
weren't you?
I mean, listen, isn't running an entire village's like financial district
Pretty criminal.
pretty, you know,
It's very shady capitalism.
there's a lot of
you know?
corruption at least, even
There's
if it's
corruption,
not like
there's
crime.
nepotism, and she's lying to the people. Isn't that the greatest crime of all?
100%.
Lying to the people.
That's right.
About your municipal duties. I don't know if that's the right term, but you know.
Meep. What the fuck?
Him.
Meep. If he is going to help us, we have to do that for Uishi. Meep.
Oh. Well, you know, despite how I look, my family is pretty rich.
Oh, shush you.
And they say on the grounds of her fucking compound.
We've got 2 sly foxes. Our club's gonna be the epitome of a free-for-all in the future. The meeting ends with that.
2? We got at least 3. And then there's Renna to worry about. I'm just... Keiichi, I'm not saying you've ended up with this entire friendship group of sly, devious people who are way smarter than they appear and also a lot deadlier. But like, yo...
That's fine. They're being humble.
It's true.
Pause for effect.
We'll find out if we can go ahead with the 48-hour operation or not by tomorrow, depending on Oishi-san's answer. We haven't heard from Tamataki-san yet, but I'm sure he's started his investigation on Takano-san. The coach and Akasaka-san have to wait patiently, each surrounded by the enemy. They're both in very dangerous positions, so I'll just have to pray for their safety. And then, there's Takano-san. I'm still having a hard time believing she's involved in such a vast conspiracy. If someone told me the whole thing was a lie, I might even believe them. That's why I want Tamataki-san to investigate. She's mysterious and a bit cold, but she can be fun to be around, too. Also, I've always thought of her as one of the villagers. It hurts more than a little to suspect one of your own. I can understand what Tamataki-san is going through. This doesn't have to be an investigation to confirm her guilt. Instead, I want him to prove that she's not guilty. It's too painful for people to doubt one another.
Interesting. Was that Keiichi? Not like... I don't know. Oh my god, it's Akasaka.
It's just a mook, I guess.
Isn't this Akasaka?
Well, he's answering Akasaka. Wait, no, because the phone's
Somebody's
tapped.
talking to Tamataki.
The phone's tapped. We're not calling Akasaka.
Oh yeah, you're right.
You'd get yourself caught. That's what had happened.
Sorry,
You'd get caught and killed.
I know. I would be the person who's like, Akasaka, I have something to tell you. What color should I paint my nails? And they'd be, Akasaka's in Rika's house. And he'd get murdered. I would run away, but Akasaka would be in trouble. So who's this? Some guy.
Yep.
You want to be Soldier A?
I will.
Soldier A. No, so that's Tamataki. You be Soldier B.
All right.
Hello? Sorry for making you call me so often, First Lieutenant Tamataki.
Flash. That's okay. Anyway, did you find out anything? A background investigation usually takes a few months. It can't be rushed within a day or two, but Tamataki Flash sensed something huge decided to make its move after what Rika and the others told him, and it wasn't dinner from last night. And it was definitely... Why did you laugh at that? And it was definitely getting closer. But once it was close enough to see, it would be too late. That was why he was checking on their progress so frequently.
We're still investigating Major Takano as we speak. When she took position in Google, her background was already investigated by a different department, so we've requested those documents to be handed over. The entire team is investigating what she's been doing since the time she joined the project. Please, give us a little longer.
I understand. However, the situation is urgent, so please work as quickly as you can.
Yes, of course. By the way, we got an emergency order to investigate the Irie Institute today. Unrelated to your request. It's our top priority now. The Chief of Staff requested it.
Chief of Staff? I mean, I literally was saying that just because I wanted to say it, but Tamataki also feels that way. Tamataki Flash also feels that way, so that's good. The Chief of Staff, and it isn't related to my request?
Yeah, well, it's supposed to be a separate matter, but from what I can see, I think this is a powerful boost from the top towards your investigation.
Investigation?
That's right, that's what I said.
I heard you. The Chief of Staff is helping out? What does this mean? The only thing I can assume is that the top members of the JGSCF, the Japan General Self-Defense Force, I want to say? Let us know in the comments. I think it's Japan and Self-Defense Forces.
The joking guys.
No.
Smart.
No.
Defense.
No, Japan.
Fridge.
Either general or ground. I'm going to say General Self-Defense Force. Have realized the danger of the conspiracy surrounding the Irie Institute. Like Rika-chan said, that this conspiracy's intent is to execute the emergency manual, the Manuel. Then the opposing champ champ will try to stop that from happening. My request for an investigation is the first step in putting a stop to their plans, so if the masterminds are influencing the chief of staff, he's probably trying to shut my investigation down, but he's supporting it instead, which probably means that the chief of staff isn't my enemy. In fact, he might belong to the opposing camp. No, it's hard to say if he belongs to them or not. He might just be under order from the ones pulling the strings for the opposing camp. If that's true, then the enemy has already noticed something, and it's possible they'll start exerting pressure soon enough. So how much can I find out before that happens? I don't know much about the top brass, still, for the chief of staff to get involved. Putting aside if Takano-san is guilty or not, I'm certain that something extremely big is starting to happen around the Irie Institute.
We're making progress on investigating the Institute. We haven't analyzed the data yet, but some of the financial records are suspicious.
Oh no.
We don't know if it's just a simple paperwork mistake or if someone is actually trying to juggle funding, but I'll have an expert look into it.
What do you mean by suspicious? Oh,
Well, as you know, there's an account for the funds supplied to the Irie Institute, but the numbers don't match up.
The numbers, Mason!
It's possible that there's inflows or outflows of money that haven't been recorded.
Like what, Ryukashi?
Besides that, there are questionable dates on some of the receipts. We're suspecting forgery. Funds are usually supplied annually. For example, if Tomitaki took his narration.
You're the one who jumped on it. I was just gonna let you keep going. You dick. Funds are usually supplied annually. For example, if a budget of 1 million yen is approved, 1 million is supplied in April, and the facility manages those funds so they can keep things running for 1 year. I almost read that as ruining things, but that's not what's... I mean, it is what's happening.
It is what's happening.
It's exactly what's happening. So depending on how they use that ruining money, it's possible to have some left over at the end of the year. If they only use 900,000 yen, they'll have 100,000 left. Then for the following year, they'll be told that as they only need 900,000 yen, then that should be enough. Furthermore, there should be 100,000 yen left over, so they should only need 800,000 the following year. Therefore, they then keeps going. They only get 800,000 yen when April comes around, which is 200,000 less than the previous year. Thank you, Ryukashi. As some of you have already noticed, Felix, the more leftover money you have, the fewer funds you receive the next year, so you just spend it all. Therefore, it's smart to use up your entire budget. But some people try to get by until the end of the year, and if there's 100,000 yen left, they try to make it look like as though they've used up the money, even when it's in fact in a safe somewhere. They report that they've used exactly $1 million, and then they get another 1 million for the following year. Yet, there is still 100,000 yen sitting in a safe. This 100,000 yen is called a pooled fund or a slush fund. If they keep running with only 900,000 yen per year, then 100,000 will be added to the slush fund in the safe annually, and only a handful of people will know about that money. This is how public funds get embezzled or turned into private money. As we previously mentioned, Google is using this exact trick. This is getting sketchy. I want to let you know we're boring on inflammatory. What's the term? You know the term. Felix.
That's all right. This is easily defensible because it's clearly satire.
Okay, good.
Clearly satire.
It's satire. Put this big stamp of satire on the screen. There it is. Satire. Satire. And certain masterminds at Google are putting in huge amounts of public funding, the bastards. To avoid this kind of situation, there's an audit of accounts performed every year and oversight to ensure no one's fattening their pockets or creating slush funds. Now I want a slushie. By the way, it's been said that the reason why civil engineering projects tend to start up at the end of the year is so they won't have that 100,000 yen left, but that's not relevant right now. I don't even know why I mentioned it. The point is that they have to work hard to get the funds they want. Defamation. That's the one. Well, that's an example of having some money left over, which is certainly not bad. However, it can also be possible that there isn't enough money. After all, they're only granted 1 year's worth of funds. They can't delve into a savings account like we do in our lives. That excess money just doesn't exist. Therefore, an estimate report should never show more expenditure than revenue. If that happens, that means there is some extra money other than what was supplied. That's how such funds are discovered. Tomitaki Flash, me, was told that it was still under investigation. I'm enjoying the voice too much. It It was still under investigation, but the Area Institute's suspicious financial records could be either case. The former would be fine. It's quite common after all, but if it was the latter, there could be something quite nasty lying beneath the surface. Man, if only Tomitaki was like a spy, I feel like he'd be pretty good at that, you know?
If only such a thing could happen.
Breaking into parties and like smooching his way.
What kind of parties have there been in Hinamizawa so far? The festival, Ben?
That's it.
The festival?
Yeah.
He's gonna break into the public festival
He's gonna
and
smooch
smooch some people for information?
Smooch his way through the information. That's how it works. In other words...
Mostly old people in this village. He's just going up, kissing a few
young
grannies.
People too.
No.
There's like young Hinamizawan ladies, I'm sure they exist, you know, that aren't underage because Tomitaki is an older man.
I don't think those exist. I think that
you're either like 14 or 87. There's no in between in this village.
The only other people we've seen are a group of motorcycle thugs.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
And we don't even know how old they were. They could have been like in their 90s, and we were just never told.
It's true. We see them in the anime, but we do not see them in the visual novel. They do not have a sprite. We cannot confirm the age of those old people. Old bikers, like, oh, get off our bikes.
I mean, listen, that's why Tomitaki had to go for a workplace relationship with Takano, is because everyone else was too old.
I mean, that's just a fact. Takano is just the right age. If you know what I mean.
I mean, listen, he could have had a really cute relationship with Irie, but if he doesn't swing that way, so be it.
That's up to him, you know, that's his own decision.
That's his own proclivities, you know.
I was going to say, yeah.
Let every blossom bloom.
I ain't
spending any time on it.
I'm supposed to be the romantic one here. What is happening? What's happening?
What do you mean? What about quoting Bob Catter as romantic to you?
He's a romantic guy. What can I say? Okay. In other words, it was possible that money was coming into the institute from someone that wasn't a formal sponsor. To be more exact, there was a chance someone was interfering with the institute by supplying funds. There they are. Tomitaki Flash was having his men look into the possibility of Takano and the Mountain Dogs rebelling against Tokyo. While it was certainly possible for Takano to do so because of her personal investment in their research project, it was hard to believe that the Mountain Dogs could betray their employers out of sympathy. For the dogs to take part in Takano's conspiracy, a huge amount of money would have to be involved, way more than 1 million yen. And the discrepancy that Tomitaki Flash's men had identified could be a sign of such. So that's their motivation. That is like, because I don't think they explain this in the anime properly. This is like a real thing. Their explanation for why the Mountain Dogs are like, let's throw a lot in with Takano is because they're being paid with embezzlement money.
Exactly.
That's like the big solution. There you go.
I think that was relatively clear. Painfully so.
I think so too.
Painfully.
It's just funny that like the details we're getting here. It's good fun.
Hello? Sorry, I just received a report. You know Koizumi Sensei, don't you?
Oh, yes.
The head of the old Koizumi faction?
Ah, yes, the Koizumi faction.
He passed away recently, which led to the faction breaking up. Do you know anything about a personal relationship between him and Major Takano?
That's a nice reaction. Yes, I've heard about that.
But did you know that Koizumi Sensei and the late Dr. Takano had a personal relationship?
Oh, it's the connection. No, I see. Now I know why Koizumi Sensei doted over Major Takano.
This is very interesting. As a matter of fact, after Koizumi Sensei's death, his private accounts were liquidated, and they found some withdrawals made by Koizumi Sensei himself, instead of the attorney who took care of his finances. It happened about half a year before the Irie Institute's establishment was approved by Google.
Oh no. Didn't Koizumi Sensei use that money to make necessary arrangements beforehand in order to establish the institute?
No, his attorney took care of the money for that, so the withdrawal wasn't made for that purpose. It must have been a very personal expenditure considering that he bypassed his trusted attorney.
Oh no, where'd the money go? So could that involve the relationship between Koizumi Sensei and Takano-san? Does that mean that Koizumi Sensei supplied funds to Takano-san personally?
I've never heard. Pause for effect.
don't need to pause for effect. The effect is on the screen.
I know. That's that's the point, though.
I guess.
Yeah, that's what we think, and we're trying to corroborate that as we speak. We think Koizumi-sensei gave money to Major Takano for purposes other than the necessary arrangements for establishing the Institute.
Oh boy, the money to hire hitmen. That's what Koizumi wanted her to spend this money on, obviously.
Yes.
Murderers. So you're saying it's possible that Major Takano has a huge amount of cash at her disposal to help instigate a revolt?
To establish the Institute, Major Takano had adjusted things with various organizations, but she did all that through legitimate means. So if she didn't use any of her personal supply for that, she should still have the whole amount at her disposal.
I'm sorry, but what is that amount exactly?
1 billion yen.
1 billion yen! What? I'm very close to Takano-san, but I had no idea she was such a rich
Tomosaki's
old
like,
woman.
I'm on side.
Yeah, he's like, screw this investigation, I'm out. Hanging up the badge, let's go Takano, off to the Hawaiian Islands. Actually, she's rather tight with her money. She never acted as if she had 1 billion yen just sitting around. But then, that money isn't just money to her. It's a form of support from her dear grandfather's friend. So she'd have to save it for when she needed it the most. So go to an island. Come on, guys. Island paradise. I'm in. If the new board of directors had even a little interest in her research, she would have used the money on them, but they simply laughed at her. So Takano-san gave up on bribing them. Instead, she decided to use it now to murder everybody, because her research project was going to be terminated anyway. So weird. All right.
I do love, just thematically, and this is an Umineko thing, but it's episode 1, and it's like the premise of Umineko episode 1. But I do like that we get to the end of Higurashi, and it's like, Takano had 1 billion yen, and then we open Umineko episode 1, and it's like, now there's 20 billion yen.
Right.
This story's 20 times bigger.
I mean, I'm not saying no spoilers, but that every like measurable metric that is calculable from one story to the next is bigger in Umineko, but it is.
Except the size of the location.
You're not wrong, actually. That is the only metric I think that is smaller. But in terms of time, in terms of money, it's all bigger. Characters, far and away, too big. Too many characters. I'm surprised I have this many voices.
Ah!
Thank you. With 1 billion yen, it might be possible to bribe the mountain dogs. If she has sponsors, it'll be even easier. Her grandfather couldn't complete his life's work, but she's planning a magnificent conclusion for it. Shit. Those can't be her true intentions. Someone has to be deceiving her. Maybe. Takano-san, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I didn't notice your sorrow. I'm sorry, even though I've been right beside you.
And see?
And see, surely. Yeah.
Hooray!
We made it.
What a brave boy.
Now we must confront his love.
Mm-hmm.
What if we just never saw the club members again and it just was like following Tomotaki's journey?
I'd be okay.
Have we had any tips this arc yet?
No, I don't think so.
Are there any tips?
There are none. I feel like we've asked this multiple times and it won't change.
I don't remember asking it, not in this arc at least, but I mean, I guess that the fragments are sort of the tips, right? So, I guess that's it for today.
It's a pretty blatant episode.
Well, this is, yeah.
What can we unpack?
I mean, yeah, the kids were like, we're going to do a plan. We're going to get Oishi on side. He's like, let me think about it, but you know he's going to say yes. Because they've hyped this plan so much, you know?
I think the only thing, I mean, listen, I don't really know where this is going. It would be pure hubris to say otherwise.
Sure.
But I think the thing I am most curious about is what can possibly go wrong at this point? Like, we are so many hours into this chapter.
I know.
How long does Ryukashi even have to, like, let things go wrong?
I don't know.
Do we just get to the end of this and everything goes according to plan because we don't have enough time left? Like, I don't know what he can fit in.
That's going to be a topic for when we finish this shit. I'm looking forward to it. No spoilers in the comments.
No spoilers
Enjoy
in the comments.
Felix's virgin reaction to this story. Do you have any predictions at all? I don't suppose you do you?
No, really. It's a bit
fine.
open-ended, and I kind of like it that way.
Yeah, that's totally
Like,
fine.
the mystery's done. We're just here to watch the club
Have a good time
just
and
beat
try
up
and,
on this poor, sad woman
Yeah,
who is completely innocent.
it's true. Takano did nothing wrong.
Next time.